wreck. I knew when Mercury was in retrograde because it ruled my mind. I used to say that Mercury ruled the mind. And so you're allowing the entities behind the divination, the spirits of divination behind the astrology practice, you're giving them access to you by coming into agreement with this stuff so they can manipulate you around these times.
So I want you to check out this video made by this woman called Angela Scafidi, right? I was just mind blown by it. So the things that she revealed, the depth of those things, yeah, it's one thing when, you know, we just preach about those things, and it's another thing when a person that was in that life come out and start exposing it because she was convicted by the Holy Spirit to come out and expose those things. So I'm going to play it right now.
Right? When I was practicing astrology, it's not that the sun and the moon and the stars have any real influence over you. It's that the spirits you're coming into agreement with through the practice of astrology do. So when I was all up in astrology, every new moon, I was like full of life and I was ready to take the world by storm and be creative and do all these things and set these intentions. And it's like when you would start a new workout plan or just something, because the new moon was all about new, obviously. And I always knew when it was a new moon, and I always knew when it was a full moon because I was an emotional mess. You know that saying, lunatic, because the moon is full, like your emotions are heightened. And I knew it was always a full moon because I was a wreck. I knew when Mercury was in retrograde because it ruled my mind. I used to say that Mercury ruled the mind. And so you're allowing the entities behind the divination, the spirits of divination behind the astrology practice, you're giving them access to you by coming into agreement with this stuff so they can manipulate you around these times. And then what happens is you're coming back for more. Okay, this full moon made me really chaotic. I just have to wait it out another 2 weeks till the new moon.
Oh my goodness, this is yeah, I'm sorry for cutting it off like this, but like this is so deep, right? So I want to unpack that a little bit. So through the pact, because pretty much this zodiac science and astrology, there is a pact that is made, right? As you just mentioned it here. There's a pact that is made through faith. Faith is so powerful. It's one of the things that's just, you can't explain through science. You can't explain faith through anything, right? It's so powerful that it is pretty much the currency that makes you align with God, makes you have a relationship with the invisible. It's faith. So through faith, you are opening a door. You are taking an agreement through astrology to open doors to certain entities to access your life. Like, this is just crazy. You open these doors to those entities that can now operate toward you, and now you start doing things that are out of this world. Like you start sinning, you start being unrecognizable because you abide to those spirits beating, right? And I want you to understand that in ancient Greece, these practices were done for a certain reason. There was masters, astrologers, master warlocks that were using this at a specific time, at a specific day, in order to receive something very specific. They were doing that for fortunes. They were doing that for wealth. They were doing that for so many things. But unfortunately, in this day and age, we as Christians are now using it for something as simple like finding a partner, starting a business. Like it has entered our lives, and we do not want to associate with God anymore. We rather go and enter in contact with those evil spirits than to have a relationship with the Holy Spirit, the Spirit of all spirit, that can tell us our days. Like that can tell us every single thing about us pretty much. It's just mind-blowing. Let's go.
And back for more. Okay, this full moon made me really chaotic. I just have to wait it out another 2 weeks till the new moon. Then I can set my intentions again. And then in 2 weeks, it blows up in your face and it's a full moon again. You got to release and then wait for the new moon. Like, it's seriously a vicious cycle. Astrology never ends. And it may seem so harmless. Oh, it's not that deep, Angela. Like, I'm not doing moon rituals like you. I'm not studying my whole chart. I just think it's cute to say I'm a Cancer. First of all, why do you think it's cute to identify as a Cancer? Right? Because then you're not only identifying with the spirits, you're identifying with the qualities, because every zodiac sign has a specific tier of qualities and characteristics. So since we're on Cancer, I'll just say like a quote good side of a Cancer would be that they're very empathetic and kind and compassionate. And then a negative side would be they are completely emotionally unstable and cannot handle themselves, really anxiety and depression prone. So what's going to happen is you're going to agree with that. And that's going to become your reality. And also, because astrology never ends, it also justifies sin. The placement that I had when I was in the world, that old man, the old Angela, my particular placement of my moon was in a sign, I'm not even going to say it, was in a sign that made me prone to be really like hypersexual. And so I was like, oh, well, that's why I always want to sleep around and lust for other men outside of my relationship. That makes perfect sense. So it also justifies your sin.
Wow.
Like it justifies the worst parts of yourself, and then it inflates your ego by like coddling the best parts of yourself. It's evil. It's not just a cute little zodiac sign. And by the way, the zodiac signs themselves are sigils, and sigils are magic, which invoke demons as well. So it's the end.
Wow, like this is just, it's mind blowing. And then at the end, she speak about sigils, and we know that those sigils are, they can be used for incantation. They can be used for all those demonic things that are just detestable to God, and call up all those spirits with whom you have entered alliance with through faith, right? You have given them access and authority over your life through faith, and from them, you start living a certain cycle. Let's say it says that finding love for, Taurus, you're a Taurus, and then it will be hard for you to find love. And now, because you have agreed through faith, you will now not only reject the blessings that God have placed in your life, but you will be living that life. You'll be unlucky with men and or women. You'll be unlucky to find your partner and get married because you have abided to those spirits. So it's really important for us to understand this, right? And I remember something. The Apostle Paul, right, talks in the book of Ephesians 6:12, and he gives us the organigram of these entities, right? He says that we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities and powers, against thrones, domination. He gave us a list, a plethora of entities that are at work. So we understand those entities are the ones that not only take control of things like music, from the music you listen to, entities that are ruling every single month from January to December. Right, as I mentioned at the beginning of this video, I told you January for Janus, right? I think when I read about it which was the god of beginning or something, ancient demonic deities that were used in Greece, and all those things like May for goddess of pretty much fertility. So in ancient Greek, what they will do is that they will use that deity of fertility on the month of May for women that couldn't give birth. And then on that special month, they will do special sacrifices. They will use the sigil attached to that entity, right, in the month of May, and offer sacrifices to receive. So it just so demonic, right? And unfortunately, people have no idea, right? It's a trend. Well, it's just a trend that they want to follow. It's something that they want to go ahead and have fun with. But in reality, the reality is much darker than that. You are inviting demons into your life, and it never ends well, right? But the easiest thing is just to follow God, to follow the Holy Spirit, He who knows everything about you. He knows what's your agenda for your life and destiny. Proverbs says, commit your plan to the Lord and He will replenish them. So instead of looking for all these demons and going through Mercury retrograde, having the headache of all those type of things, develop a relationship with the Holy Spirit. And when you develop that relationship, he's a friend. He's the most amazing friend, because he starts telling you, he starts speaking to you, he starts revealing to you who you really are, and what you are meant to do, and your life start to make way more sense than to go through these headaches of Mercury retrograde and all those demonic activities behind them. All right, so yes, I want you to give her some love. Her name, once again, is Angela Scafidi. Give her some love. Go and subscribe to her channel, And once again, please subscribe and share as much as you can. I appreciate you. See you next week.